tape that we have, he's saying, "That's right, Jesse," one of the clients. "That's right, I did do that. You're right, I did. Because I'm going to teach all of you." So just...
Isn't it what they call it, cutting your nose off and spite
your face. Yeah. Well...
All right, we're talking to Michelle Douglas and Kimberly Shurg. She's awfully quiet and over in her corner. We'll make her talk a little bit later, talk about our investigation. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Bob Burns in your afternoon. Michelle Douglas specializes in employment law and civil rights law, and she's in Northfield, New Jersey on Tilton Road. And what's the address?
1601 Tilton Road.
1601 Tilton Road, and the phone number would be?
609-788-3595. Can also be reached at www.myrightslawyers.com.
We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
News Talk 1400 WOND. WOND. Radio.com.
Bob Burns in your afternoon continues on News Talk 1400 WOND.
All right, we're back. We're with Michelle Douglas and Kimberly Shurg. They're from the law firm of Douglas and
Kinnery
on 1601 Tilton Road, Northfield, New Jersey. And the phone number there is 609-788-3595. And you specialize in employment law and civil rights.
That's right.
And right now we're talking about the Lower Cape May MUA, right?
That's right, yes.
What exactly does the MUA do?
Well, the Municipal Utilities Authority, similar to the Atlantic County Municipal Utilities Authority. I mean, those workers are responsible for maintaining all the water lines, trash disposal, recyclables, you name it.
Just for Lower Township?
Just for Lower Township.
Okay. And you have two clients so far that all have already been fired from their positions.
I do. We represent 5 Lower Township Municipal Utilities Authority employees, 2 of whom have lost their jobs. The other 3, one of whom has been assaulted, and those 3 have been denied overtime. They've been written up. They've been harassed. Needless to say that their experiences now on the job and at the work site are much different Cape May County prosecutor investigation.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And again, the prosecutor was investigating a complaint that did not originate from the MUA.
Well, it didn't originate from any of my employees, my clients, the employees. What I understand is that it did originate from a prior employee, that there were allegations raised by a prior employee whom I do not represent.
Okay.
And I know the investigation started in or about August of this year.
All right. So tell us about the 2 people that got fired. Tell us about their work records. Was there any reason why they would have been fired?
Well, I'm sure the executive director will have his reasoning, and that reasoning, I say, is not the true or the real reason,
right?
Because their work records speak volumes about their work ethic and their diligence and their performance. One of the gentlemen, his name is Bill Dunn, was an active union organizer, and he was the individual who negotiated with management the terms and conditions for most of the labor force within the Municipal Utilities Authority.
They already had a union.
They did, okay. Yes. But he was responsible, come renewal of contract time,
right,
for the negotiation on behalf of the labor force.
Okay.
And so he's, needless to say, pretty vocal, pretty outspoken person, and because of that, an easier target.
Yeah.
And his was the first to go. His job was the first to go. And the other person that I represent, Jana Bailey, is a young lady who was the purchasing agent. I'm not necessarily drawing a connection, but in my mind, it's worth the exploration that she was the second person to have lost her job because of the fact that she's the purchasing agent and because of the nature of the allegations at the Cape May County Prosecutor's Office. And, one of the reasons that we're here today, Bob, is because, lawyers do make a living litigating, and we do take cases on a contingency fee basis. That's true. But having said that, I truly believe that this is a case, or it could be a case, in which if the governing body or the lawyers for the other side really actively got themselves involved, there wouldn't be litigation. We could avoid litigation if everybody could sit down at the table and resolve the matter. I mean, we have a tape. It's pretty damning against the executive director. If they, in fact, have a zero tolerance policy for some of the activities they claim, then that individual's position would be eliminated, thereby allowing 5 other employees who've done nothing more than be bound by their civic obligations in participating with the Cape May County Prosecutor's Office could continue to be employed and earn a living. I was saying to you while we were on break, do we have a good case? Do I think so? Yes. And do the individuals think that they have a good case? Yes. But it's a lot different when you're in that seat and you've been fired from a job to wait a year or 2 years or longer in order to reach vindication by a jury or by some settlement process. Because in the meantime, what have you gained? You haven't. You've lost your job. You probably have conflicts at home because money matters. You've lost your health insurance. You've lost your stability. And in Lower Township, Cape May County, truly the Municipal Utilities Authority is a pretty decent place, minus all of what has been happening recently.
Sure, yeah.
It's a pretty good place to work. So our goal was and continues to be, to get the attention of the governing officials so that somebody conducts an investigation so that these whistleblowers, because they are individuals that would be considered whistleblowers under the law, are protected.
What do you run up against? Is it just, I don't care, I don't want to know, it's too bad? What do you run up against?
I'll give you an example. Last 2 weeks.
17th. That council meeting?
Kim says it was on the 17th of October. Okay, not that long ago. We attended the Lower Township Council meeting, and there had to be more than 60 people there. Again, another packed house with placards, protest kind of signs, but everybody peaceable. Nobody making any noise or disruption to the process, all orderly. And when it came our turn, or we thought it came our turn to talk, the mayor shut us down. He said, and held his hand out, stop. He did not want to hear from us. He did not want to hear anything from any employee or representative from the Lower Township Municipal Utilities Authority. Now, this is a public forum. Yeah. All of these individuals are residents of Lower Township. Yeah. They have a right to provide their governing body, the electorate, with information about what's been going on and to request that somebody take a look into the activities. So we were shut down, but we still are hopeful that somebody will actually do a real investigation into this.
So tonight, the meeting you're going to go to tonight is the board meeting for the MUA?
It's the no, not for the MUA. It's the Lower Township Council meeting.
Okay, yeah. Same as you went to a month ago
on the 17th
when TV was there.
No, that was different.
It was different.
Yes,
okay.
When the TV, Channel 40 was there, that was actually at the Board Municipal Utilities Authority.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Because I remember seeing the signs and a couple of interviews with people. The one, I think they interviewed the one person who said he was accosted.
He was, yeah. He's one of our clients. He was assaulted by the executive director, and we have the admission on tape. And why is he still there? It's just unbelievable to me that what they did do. However, we do have a friend on the Municipal Utilities Board. He seems to be in tune with the labor force. And he requested a special meeting to be conducted by the Municipal Utilities Board. And he was successful in having that last week. But what was accomplished? They gave Matt Ecker, the executive director, a 60-day paid vacation.
Oh, gee.
I laugh. It's not pathetic, but
it's not funny.
I laugh, but he was rewarded for bad behavior.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that perplexes me with governing officials. I mean, it's one thing to help your comrade, your friend, but it's another to willingly or
Go take 60 days off with pay.
yeah, I mean, you're not only condoning the activity, you're rewarding it. So, and he has a company car that he wasn't prevented from utilizing. It just seems to me to be sending the very wrong message.
And your poor guy, you got two clients that have lost their jobs, lost their livelihood.
Without any income.
Yeah. And I know it's like to look for a job. It's next to impossible.
Yeah, especially in this climate.
Yeah. And probably long-term employees too, right?
They were, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's rough. That's rough.
That's very rough. It's very rough. And tell that to their families. But they, the heartwarming part of this story, if there is one, is that these 5 people are well liked in their community. They're active in their community. So the public support was overwhelming. There were at the meeting that you were talking about with Channel 40 present.
Yeah.
There had to be well over 100 people, residents, that came out in support of these 5 individuals. So
that's terrific.
that was real nice.
That is terrific.
Yeah.
Well, it's when I was elected, I know that the people got to meet 2 people, and they were the cops or the public works guys, and the MUA or the public works guys for Lower Township.
Right.
And they're the guys that people don't care if your taxes don't get recorded today or tomorrow, but if your trash doesn't get picked up, you're in deep trouble. We have a caller. We have Steve from Northfield. Steve, you're on the air with Michelle Douglas and Kimberly Short. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, Bob, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, Attorney, I don't know if you can answer this question. I'll hang up and listen, but I didn't know if your facets of law and representation so far as employees would be related to something that's happening in Atlantic City with the chief of police. And if it is, I'd like you to voice your opinion within limitations on the amount that was awarded, and was there a justification, and not knowing all the facts, do you think the verdict was correct? I'll hang up and listen.
Thanks for checking in, Steve. Appreciate you being there.
Thanks, Steve. I probably don't have much more factual information than you do or than what the general public has in terms of my reading from the newspaper, the various accounts. I do know John Donnelly, a very fine attorney who represented Chief Mooney, and from what I understand, he did a very good job. I don't know enough about the amount of damages. I can say that it was based in large part upon a contractual number. So my experience with trials and jury verdicts is you just never know. You never know.
It's a real shake of the dice, isn't it?
It's a risk. Yeah, it sure is. It's no more guaranteed than spending your money at the Revel.
I went through enough trials with Tom Vesper to know that you never have a clue.
No, you don't.
You do the best you can. You prevent the best stuff you can, and you never have a clue.
You really do not. You don't know whether there may be some jurors that are inclined to award punitive damages. In the Mooney case, I believe that the jury agreed that punitive damages were warranted, but they awarded zero amount for punitive damages. So there had to be some formula by which they did award the number that they did, and I just presume that that's based upon the dollar amount associated with the chief's contract over a number of years.
Well, Judge Johnson had refined the number from 3.7 to 2.9